Hi, I'm Candace Gourdain, and this is Fitness and Harmony. This week we're going to work on transformation practice. We're in a time of flux. The temperatures are changing, and it's time for us to start doing a whole different set of things. So taking what you need means astaya, which is one of the yamas, one of the disciplines. It means take only what you need and get rid of the rest. So if you're like me, the biggest part of cleaning for me is figuring out what to get rid of and what to hold on to, and I'm not good at it. So take only what you need. And remember, the first principle of yoga is ahimsa, nonviolence. So above all, don't think anything negative or hurtful or painful or stressful, and don't do anything to yourself or to others. Remember, we're coming to the mat, you're working on your body, not mine. And even some of the ancient poses probably aren't that great. I hate to have to say that, but we have to apply some modern principles, some modern knowledge to the ancient ways. So I want to actually start out. If you can't come to hands and knees, then stay here because we're going to come back here in a minute. But if you can and want to come to hands and knees, then do that with me. Wherever you are now, close your eyes and begin your breath practice. Remember, the breath practice is opening up a space to feel the breath dance. Your first few breaths feel like they don't fully go in. That's normal. Be with your breath now. Respect that there's resistance. If you're in hands and knees, brace the abdominals a little bit more. So you're hugging the abdominals. If you've ever hugged someone, you don't hug with all of your strength, but you want to make sure that that person knows you are there. If you've received a hug, you know the right amount of pressure that you like. Apply that amount of pressure around your waist and your low back. Be with your breath now. Don't stress about the alignment principles. Today we're going to go with the flow to practice ahimsa, that means nonviolence, in thought and action, and your approach to yourself and to others. Love is the ultimate expression of ahimsa. Move the ribs out and pull the ribs in. Fill the vessel of the body with breath, and then almost like a cough or a laugh, push the breath out with a little bit more strength and force than you normally would. We're going to dance the breath and wave the spine. Plant the seed of the self within the self. The reason we're planting the seed of the self in the self is so that we know what to keep and what to throw away. This astaya, take only what you need. If you're in hands and knees, push back into child's pose to release the pressure on the neck, the shoulders, and the wrists. If you're still in seated pose, just let the head drop down onto the chest. Now begin the wave of the breath. I want you to visualize, I believe there's waves behind me here, the beach. I want you to visualize the waves coming in. And on the exhale, kind of crash the wave onto the shore. Not a big wave, just a nice, beautiful churning of energy. Feel and hear the vibration, the sound. So we're going to raise the frequency of our body. Ask yourself this question: how can I be kind to myself? It's not selfish to be kind to yourself. come back up to hands and knees. Now I want you to practice, whether you're in hands and knees or seated, it doesn't matter to me. Either way, practice rocking your pelvis forward. That's the top rim spilling out the front of your body. And the bucket of the pelvis rocking backward. That's the top rim of your pelvis spilling out the back body. So practice that. Once you've decided what that means, close your eyes and visualize the pelvis. Rocking forward, rocking backward. Remember, I'm not going to cue all the tiny alignment principles because your body is unique. It has lived through unique patterns, movements, injuries, and memories. So close your eyes and go into the core of the pelvis and take that, the energy that's there, and let it rock forward and backward. Now be with your breath now. Two things are harmonizing. The rocking, the dance-like pattern of the pelvis, and the breath. Remember, on your exhale, force air up out of the lungs, over the throat, and pull and hug the belly in a little bit more vigorously, not faster, just vigorously, as if somebody's squeezing you a little bit harder. Almost like, I need a little bit more support from you, whoever this is. And so you're getting squeezed and hugged a little bit more. 3 more times. Massage the spine with the rocking, dancing wave of the spine. So let's all come back to a seated pose. Remember, I said we'd be back there. All right, so your seated pose, I want you to be really unique here and figure out, try these 3 or 4 versions and then settle on one. One version would be this. I sort of fall into this one naturally, where one knee is in and one leg's out. And then try that same thing we did before, rock the pelvis forward and back. This one not too hard, but you may feel the hamstring and the inner thigh here begin to stretch. Let's say you're really just waking up right now and you haven't done really anything yet. Maybe you've had a long couple of days of not doing anything. Now we always say that, I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. So then try maybe the other leg. Maybe you want to balance out. So all we're doing now is exploring rocking forward and back. That's all we're really doing. That same thing we did in hands and knees, or maybe you were still in seated pose. Remember, the purpose of today is to transform your approach to living, not on the mat. That's what we're practicing here. That's where the seed takes root. So maybe try both legs. I know for a lot of us, no. Notice I always lift my hips and slide them back to get the maximum length on the back of the thighs. Same thing, I'm gonna try rocking forward and back. I'm really just trying to rock my pelvis. A lot more of me moves. So it may look like I'm moving my whole body, but I'm really just rocking the pelvis. So this one I think is one of the harder ones to do, if not the hardest way to do it. But if you've got legs for miles, some of you do, and you really need this stretch on the legs, then maybe this is the version you want to do. Last time we brought the soles of the feet together. Remember we did that little butterfly thing? Try that, where you're rocking the pelvis forward and back. Again, this is another hard one, but I find this one, like there's some real juiciness to this one. Again, I'm just giving you like 3, 4, 5 different options. All we're trying to do is find the wave of the spine. And then the other way, or the last way you might try, is simple Sukhasana. That's actually my preferred way, is simple Sukhasana. Let me turn to the side so you can see what we're doing next. So whether your legs are now crossed, straight out in front, however you want to put your legs, I like putting my hands behind so that I don't fall backward. So I don't give myself the liberty of collapsing back and down. So I'm putting the hands as kind of a brace, but I'm not pushing very hard. So rock the pelvis forward, then extend the chest forward, then lift the chin a little bit and take the top of the shoulders back. So this is like full extension. But the key here is that low back pelvis, right where my waistband is, that's pushing forward like somebody's got their knuckles there and is pressing the top of the rim of the pelvis as far forward as possible. Now go the other way. Rock the pelvis back, round the low back, round the upper back. Kind of let the head and the shoulders droop a little bit forward. Now go the other way. The pelvis rocks forward. So the hinge are the sits bones. The top rim of the pelvis pushes forward. Remember, like somebody's pushing the top of your pants forward. Then extend the belly forward. Then extend the top of the chest. Let the head and the shoulders just kind of pull a little bit into the back plane a little bit. And then the opposite. So pelvis rocks under, low back rounds, chest collapses, and head kind of drapes forward. Pelvis rocks forward. Remember, pelvis pushing forward. Belly pushes forward and rises up. Chest expands up and out, and the head and shoulders tip a little bit back. So pelvis, belly, chest, shoulders, head. Pelvis, belly, chest, shoulders, neck, and head. Pelvis, belly, neck, chest, and head. So now close your eyes. Remember, this is where you're taking a seat. Whether your legs are outstretched in front of you, whether you have one bent, both, doesn't matter. What does matter is you're creating a wave in the spine that originates at the root, at the bottom. So close your eyes and find the way to move and breathe that serves you. So let's say I were cleaning my house. Let's imagine it, because that's probably not going to happen. Let's say I was cleaning my house and I had all this clutter. It's really easy for me to imagine. And I'm trying to decide what to keep and what to let go of. So first of all, ahimsa, no violence. I'm not going to hurt myself doing this. I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to take something away that, really has a lot of emotional impact. But asteya, A-S-T-E-Y-A, asteya says don't steal. Don't take what's not yours. Only take what you need. Respect that you, your whole organism, your body, your spirit, your mind, need a certain amount of things. One of those things is breath. So let me remind you to be with your breath now. That's one of the things that's not negotiable. You have to breathe. But so many things are around us and are abundant that we don't necessarily need. The trick, the knowledge, the wisdom is to figure out what it is you need. That's really everything. 2 or 3 more times. I'm having a hard time rocking my pelvis forward here. I don't know if you're feeling that, but I'm feeling my low back doesn't really want to go too far forward. So we'll open the eyes. We'll come down and onto the belly. So let's do it this way. I found that one's kind of challenging. So first, try coming up to Sphinx pose. Bring the palms and the elbows and the forearms up under sort of the chest, sort of right up underneath you, and then spread the collarbones and the shoulder blades out. So arms are squeezing in. Now, with your eyes closed, pull the belly in and off the floor. Do that wave of the breath. Remember, we started with this where we inhale and you're like filling the container and you're opening up a space. In this space, in this container is a seed. It's just like we're planting something. I understand there's planting that's being done now. So imagine you're planting, because we're getting ready. We're changing seasons. We're getting ready for the next thing. That's planting something. When you exhale with some kind of like force, push, almost like you're coughing the breath out of the lower belly and up, like you're expectorating, like you're getting something cleared out. So we're clearing out the pathways so that the lens can see. 2 more breaths. unhunch the shoulders. So keep pressing the forearms down so the shoulders are going down, but the chest is rising up towards the ceiling. And then make your way slowly back into child's pose. I'm going to choose to take my knees out wide because my sacrum sometimes has, it has some struggles. And so I'm going to make sure that I'm always supporting my sacrum. So whatever it's telling me, this is what you need now, it's always easier to me to have the knees wide, that I'll always choose that. If, when you bring your knees together and it rounds your back, so try that just as a way to try this on, and that little opening feels good between your sacrum and your lumbar spine, then do that. So keep trying on different parts of the pose so that consciousness replaces compulsiveness. So sometimes when we get together and we're doing yoga, it becomes a game of Simon Says. I don't know if you know Simon, but apparently he gets to say what you do. So if I were to say, do this, chances are you're just going to do it. So replace that compulsiveness with consciousness. Now, be with your breath. So that all parts of your body, all the little cells of your body, picture them all alive, little organisms, little beings. That all those little parts, and it's like every little cell in your body has like legs and arms, is dancing with the sound, the meter, the tempo of the expanding breath. So breath isn't you. When you inhale, oxygen isn't you. But you, those little cells, take it in and transform it into you. So inhale, become more of that. Exhale, force air out of the lungs, getting rid of what you don't need, which is like carbon dioxide right now. So now reach the arms forward. So if you're like babying a shoulder, for example, right now, maybe don't do this vinyasa. This one is probably not good for you. Press the arms forward and push the palms down. Now lift the hips up, like you're about to get up and go somewhere. That's kind of what this action is. You're about to get up and go. But instead of going forward, push the hips up and back. So the image for me is holding on to the edge of a cliff and pulling back. So I even kind of curl my fingers to remind me that's what this is. So this may be safe for you. The next move, you're going to be careful. So try it on for size and then maybe just peel away from it. We inhale here, and then we exhale like you're dipping under a wire. Arch the back. My tailbone goes way up in the sky. Looks kind of funny. Push through the palms and come up into cow pose. You know cow pose. That's the one where the back is really extended and the belly is really draping down. Now I'm pushing hard with my hands. Inhale. Exhale, rock the tailbone under. Arch the back and push up and back into like a, extended baby pose. Push the hands down. Inhale. Exhale, rock the pelvis forward. Scoop the chest forward like you're taking a scoop from your chest and going forward, dipping under something. And with that extended spine, straighten the arms and come up into cow. Round the back, rock the pelvis under, push back, drape down and back into this extended baby, I'm calling it. Inhale, as you exhale, turn the pelvis forward, scoop with your chest forward, push with your elbows, come up into cow. Exhale, rock under, push back and down. Inhale. Exhale, rock the pelvis forward, scoop the chest forward, push and lift up to cow. Exhale, rock under, push back. Inhale. Exhale, rock forward, push up. Inhale. Exhale, rock under, push back. Inhale. Exhale, rock forward, push up. Inhale. Rock and press back. Exhale, rock forward, push up. Keep going. Now, don't worry if you're like, I'm still not sure. When am I rocking forward? When am I rocking back? Don't worry. Just move. Just dance with the cadence and be with that breath that keeps expanding. So remember those cells that were dancing? You were picturing them like kind of dance all around, rocking and rolling and becoming strong and fierce. Picture spaces between the cells filling up with an energy that's vibrant and bright and sparkling and light and delicious. I like to eat, so I like that word, delicious breath. 2 or 3 more. Keep recognizing and acknowledging that overdoing it is violence. So if love is nonviolence, overdoing it is violence. Think about that for a second. And then move to hands and knees. Move into downward dog. We're going to come up to standing in a second. So again, if you're not putting any pressure on your shoulders today, walk your feet a little bit further forward and put more and more body weight in the hips and the legs. If you're coming to full downward dog, practice it with ahimsa. Remember, non-violence. Recognize where you are, that your body has unique patterns and memories. Breathe. Drape your head down. Roll your head. That is like twist and turn your head side to side. And then rock it around in a circle. And then let it drape and hang. 2 breaths here. Pause for a space. Remember that seed you planted? And then walk forward. Bring your hands to your knees and then round and roll all the way up. Scoop the core muscles as you're coming up. And then pause. So let's pause in Tadasana for a moment. So look down and separate the feet. Now in traditional yoga, you bring the toes a little bit together, but I find that a little bit of a challenge. So I keep my feet straight. That's easier for me to remember. So your feet are on train tracks, right? They got to be facing in the same direction. Press the edges around the edge of your foot down. So your root is really important. Pull the shoulders back, zip the abdominals in. Close your eyes and begin breathing. Remember, when you inhale, you're filling the container. When you exhale, hug the belly around, inward and upward, inward and upward, inward and upward. It's like an undertow of a wave pulling in towards the central channel of the spine and then rising up. When it gets to the top's about the throat. That energy sprays out like really big in all directions. And that spray filters and flows over the tops of your shoulders, pulling them out, pulling them down. So you inhale and fill the container from the bottom up. Remember, your feet are like the magnets to the earth. So stay connected. And that energy rises up. Then when you exhale, it sprays out kind of around the throat, over the shoulders, pulling the flesh of the shoulders out. Like lava, it flows down. I want you to feel connected, safe, secure. So your roots. So now find the muscles of the pelvic floor. They call them the bathroom muscles, right? You're going to squeeze it in, lift it up, and then continue. So the feet are holding onto the floor. You're a magnet. You're inhaling, filling the vessel. Exhaling kind of out the throat, across the shoulders, and pulling the shoulders and arms down. So let the arms kind of expressively, organically fall down to the earth. Remember, practicing Astaya. We're trying to figure out what is balance. So Astaya is essentially figuring out what is yours and what is not yours. Remember, the things you need are yours. The things that don't serve you are not yours. So if I were to worry about your pose and making sure you're doing it perfect, and I worry that you're going to fall, that's not mine. So be with your organic feeling of what's necessary. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. This just reminds you of where center is. Open your eyes. Pause for a space to open up. Inhale and circle up. Exhale, extend back. Now hold there. I One of the things I noticed by watching this video back is that I can't extend. I always thought I could. What I do is I bend my knees. So I'm not going to extend any further today. I'm going to recognize that I have almost no extension and focus on lifting the low back forward and upward. That's it. Not bending my knees anymore. That's cheating. That's not doing anything for my spine. It makes it look like I'm doing the pose, but I'm not doing anything for my spine. So now energize your legs and let your arms and your hands become antenna. Antenna pulling in these, signals from the universe that there is abundance. There is abundance. There is abundance. There is abundance. I almost want to say, challenge me on that. There is abundance. There is enough. And notice your fear of not having enough is what's driving your stress. There is abundance. Pull it in. Come up. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let's change the mudra. You'll remember this word. Mudra is the hand gesture. So leave the pinky and the thumb together, but take the middle 3 fingers, I had to count them there, the middle 3 fingers out so that your hand looks like a flower. And in fact, this is the lotus shape of the hands. Keep the thumb attached to the heart so that your lotus is attached to your heart. Now, keep your eyes open here. Just try balancing on one leg. You're just going to say, bring one knee up. You can come to tree. I actually like the tree because then I'm somewhere. I feel like I'm done. There's a pose. It's tree. We're in tree pose. But I want you to focus on the lotus, the flower that you're making with your hands. So you might still be sitting in a chair. That's fine. Make this lotus flower. And I want you to imagine you are. Lotus flower grows on the top of a pond. The pond is usually muddy and mucky, and its roots go through the water and are in the earth below the water. The water is always moving, right? But the flower and the leaves are facing up to the sky. So the lotus mudra, this hand gesture, is symbolizing rising above the muck and the mud and the turbulence of the water and opening up and collecting the sunlight. So sun is kind of all a plant really needs. It needs some water, but it needs sun. That's what it eats. So you're collecting. Now, right now, I know that you're kind of wobbling, forward, back, side to side. That's okay. I want that to be the lesson. That astaya is the balance of accepting that things aren't always solid. Things aren't always, a clear, straight path. So if you fall, good, that's the lesson. That your body has to learn to serve you by figuring out what it needs and what it doesn't need. Now take this leg that's up there and step back into high lunge. So take that leg to the back edge of the mat. The foot's still facing forward. Circle the arms up and extend back into crescent shape. Inhale. Now when you exhale, throw your arms down. Squeeze your abdominals in. So it's inhale, lift up. Exhale, throw out. Now really squeeze those abdominals like a cough. Inhale. My mouth, I'm throwing my tongue out. Vigorously and fiercely. 2 more times. Now next time, float up into warrior 3. So balance, lift out, stretch out, lift up, fly above. Fly above all that junk you just threw out. Right? You just took all the bad, all the things that were violent, all the negative, all the stress, and you threw it away. I don't know about you, but when I actually do get rid of stuff, it feels amazing. All right, so we're back to the lesson on what you need. So the mantra here is, I am abundance. Even if I can't hold this warrior 3, I am still abundance. And come back into Tadasana. Let's bring the hands into the lotus mudra, the flower. Balance again. Now other leg up and hold. I would keep my eyes open if I were you. Move into your tree. Thanks for reminding me. And then visualize a tree or a plant or a flower, the roots, the leaves. If you're in tree pose, I want to remind you though, don't sink this hip out, pull it in. So both hips are pulling into center and rising up. Breathe. All parts of you, remember those little cells? All of them are dancing with the meter, the cadence, the rhythm, the harmony of your organic self. Keep pausing for a space to open up. Keep cleaning the lens. You're doing that with your breath. Your breath is kind of rocking around in the throat. Then when you're ready, step this front leg, this top leg, back into the high lunge. Get those legs strong. Really get those legs vibrant. Inhale, circle up. Pull that belly in. You're going to need it. Exhale, throw it out. Inhale. Exhale. Two more times. So next time, come into that warrior three. So fly and float, rise above all of that. You know that feeling when after you've cleaned, and everything actually is the way you want it. There's only a moment that is true. That's where we are right now. You're above the hard work and the effort. And the body's dancing on the current of the good energy you just filled. Brace the abdominals. Fall if you have to. And then come back to ta-da, ta-da, sana. Yeah, that's not why it's called that. So circle the arms up and forward fold. I'm going to ask you to make your way down into a seated pose. So you might do that by bending your knees. See if your knees do that for a second. If they don't, fall and collapse and make your way down. Let's rock that baby. You'll remember this maybe. This is where we take one leg. So let me remind you that you might want to lay all the way down for this, because after this we are going to lay down. We're going to take one leg. Now I'm going to change it this week and use my other leg to help. That's the other leg is holding that, so I don't have to work so hard. And then rock the baby. All right, play with this one. One of the things this is my workout. This is what I do every day. I rock this, and then I take this knee over into the other shoulder, stretching the hip and the fascia. That's important for me. Then I kind of roll onto that hip and off. So my rock the baby is kind of rock the whole canvas. And that feels good for me. If you figure out where you're rocking, what you need here. I really need to roll onto that side hip. After all that tree pose, that side hip might be a little tight. All right, you could do this lying on the floor. Stay where you are. Or come down. You can still do this laying on the floor. Rock the baby, rock that hip over, pull the knee across to the opposite shoulder. Keep going. Let the breath move you. Remember, your true self lies hidden in the silence between thoughts. So I just gave you a lot to think about with the baby and the twisting and the hip. Pause for the silence. And then switch to the other leg. So again, there's many different ways to rock the baby. You can grab the leg and swing it side to side. That may be meaningful. This is energizing the root. You can use the other leg as a help you. It's holding the leg up for you a little bit. I like to rock the whole body. I rock the whole cradle. I don't just rock one thing. Just move organically. What serves you? What's going to be good for you right now? You know that we're about to move into closer to the 8th limb. Remember, the yamas were the controls or the disciplines. The niyamas were the observances. We've not been talked about those. The pranayama is the breath discipline. The asana is the poses. The pratyahara is letting go of this earthly stuff that we're just talked about and are doing. The dharana is concentration. Dhyana, meditation, and we're getting ready to move towards that so that we could have samadhi. Samadhi is ultimate absorption into the infinite. So let's do that. Let's come all the way down to the back. Let me let you settle in. So close your eyes, fix your pose. The one pose that has to be done well is shavasana. You have to be in a pose of repose. If anything is holding you back, like the shoulder's not in the right position, then your clothing is bunched up. If you had a blanket that was really soft and comfortable that was covering you so you feel safe and warm, then do take the time. It's more important to get comfortable. Now breathe in pain, and then just let it go. Breathe out. Breathe in stress, all that tension and pain and worry. Now just breathe out. What we're really filling up. Breathe in your struggles, all those conflicts, awful things, and then just breathe out. Now breathe in. But when you breathe out kindness. Like you're making it. Breathe in. Breathe out compassion. That patience. Breathe in. Breathe out acceptance. Accepting this just is. So let's try that. Breathe in pain. Breathe out kindness. Breathe in stress. Breathe out compassion. Breathe in struggles. Breathe out acceptance. Now just let go. You don't have to breathe. You don't have to do anything. In fact, become a little bit more relaxed. But as the space opens up, listen to the space. Literally listen. You know how you get really still and silent when you want to hear something? Get still and silent. This way you feel right now. Train your mind, body to become this more and more. You do that by acknowledging that this space, this feeling, this pose, whatever you call this, is always here. It's not just here after yoga. It's not just here when all of the struggles of the world are done. It's not just here at a certain time of year. It's always here with you in the seat of the self. Now breathe. Organically integrate breath to the wave. Let it ripple and flow. Ride the wave through, around, transforming. Ride the wave. Feel the effects of the breath soaking. Slowly make your way onto your side. Open your eyes and then push up. And gently move back into Sukhasana. I always give myself that little boost to remind myself to keep that low back pressed a little bit forward, so not letting that collapse, not after getting all of that good space open there. Bring the hands together. Anjali Mudra means I'm connected. It's peaceful mudra. I'm connected to the peace that resides within me and the universe. Inhale and circle up, fill the body. As you exhale, empty the container of all that you don't need. Namaste.